Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic, Less Known Classics. This is episode number 1892 and Doubleshot number 1786. I got two DC trades for you. First one is a canon series that came out last year. That was actually supposed to come out like a year or two prior to this one. What book is it? Checkmate by Brad Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev. Yes, this is the third volume of Checkmate. Yes, so I think it says this volume collects Checkmate number 1 through 6 and Leviathan Dawn. That's original one shot by Checkmate, not the first comic. And heck, they even threw in the back of the book the original logos. That was the logo they had for the first volume. This is what they have for the second volume. This was supposedly, like, they look at these logos. Advanced Leviathan Checkmate. That was the original name of this miniseries before they dropped it due to all the delay that this miniseries had. Now, this is simply put dealing with the after effects of the Event Leviathan crossover. That particular storyline, which I thought was really good. My friend Timmy was not a fan of that storyline. Me, I loved it. I thought it was really good. And this falls right after that, where all the spy agencies are basically heavily damaged thanks to Leviathan. Yeah, and we have where in this miniseries where Leviathan takes over Markovia, the home of Geoforce. Yes, that superhero, Prince Byron. Yep, so they take over his country, become the sovereign nation of Leviathan. Despite you have Superman appear on this cover, he doesn't appear into half of this miniseries. Now, they basically resemble Checkmate, which is quite interesting. Now, here's the thing about this line of Checkmate. They do have one character who appears at the end of this miniseries who has no Checkmate. But here's the weird thing. The characters who appear as part of Checkmate have no history with Checkmate. And I do mean none. Who would remember Checkmate? Why, it's Green Arrow, Mr. King, which I'll reveal who it is soon. The Question, Steve Trevor, Lois Lane, Manhunter. This is Kate Spence Manhunter. And Director Bones of the DEO. Interesting, because right afterwards he would take over. DEO will be active again, and currently I think it's under the leadership of Cameron Chase. Also, Robin is part of Checkmate. Yes, Damian Wayne is part of Checkmate, which is interesting. The fact that when this miniseries came out, he's part of Checkmate, even though he said he's not Robin anymore. You could say this come out when he has an ongoing series. Well, his ongoing series coming out though. So we have it's also confirmed in this miniseries. If you didn't read Leviathan, if you're curious, where is General Lane? Dead. Got killed off in Leviathan. Yep, Lois Lane's father. Which will be a spy master, despite the fact he usually was some like kind of military guy. This is actually the second time he's been killed off in the comics. Yes, the second time. The last time was during the Superman War of the Supermen miniseries, which concluded the whole new Superman's the World New Krypton storyline. Yep. So, in this book, there's a lot of spy work. There's a good amount of character development between Damian and Talia. And Damian gets a lot of development of this, of course, this miniseries. I gotta admit, Bendis does a really good job writing Damian. His interaction with Bones is interesting. Like, I never expect Damian Wayne to interact with Director Bones, a guy who was a literal skeleton. Apparently, when they first find him, he's in Arkham Asylum of all places. Which is weird. This could play into what happened in the finale of the story of having Batwoman. That's possible. The last book he appeared in part of this one, and of course, Leviathan, was pages of Supergirl. Yes. And also, Lois Lane is a key figure in this miniseries because she actually interviews Mark Shaw, the former Manhunter and the current Leviathan. Yes. He took charge over, he basically overthrew Talia al Ghul for leadership of Leviathan. Now, in the case of Green Arrow, he doesn't do a lot here, per se. It's almost like Green Arrow's throwing here just because, basically, and this is my personal theory, I think because DC didn't have any major plans for him, aside being featured in, well, of course, this version for Justice League, he's not doing a lot. So, in this miniseries, he doesn't do a lot here, per se. I was surprised. Now, here's the thing. Again, Mr. King. Well, first he finds Steve Trevor in prison because he's blamed for the Leviathan stuff. He had nothing to do with it. Of course, he broke him out. And, of course, they recruited the various people. The Question was somebody that Bendis actually was one who was responsible for bringing this guy back. Now, in my opinion, this is the real Vic Sage, The Question. Because the two versions were part of this one. The one that was supernatural based, he was immortal. I did not think he was The Question. There was also another Vic Sage who appeared in the pages of New Suicide Squad. I did not believe he was Vic Sage because the way he was written, it didn't seem like classic Vic Sage. That's my personal opinion anyways. This Question here, which is right here, that is the real Question. Yes. Heck, he even has an encounter with Renee Montoya, who actually, I think just prior to this one, he had just appeared in the Lois Lane maxi series, which really good. I do recommend checking out because it's that damn good. Yep. So, Superman does play a role in here, but mostly he's here as a supporting character. Mostly, anyways. And it's interesting, though, some of the characters something to do. I love Damian's interaction with Kate Spencer. Now, here's the thing. Apparently, her only client at this point is Superman, despite the fact she's also defended Green Arrow in court. Yes, she has. And apparently they forgot about that. It could be the case of the right hand or left hand not know what the right hand is doing. That's my personal guess. Now, here's the thing. Do we have appearances by any Now, here's the thing. Now, okay, you want to know who Mr. King is. It's revealed in the final issue he's actually Kamandi. And you're thinking, really? Kamandi? As in the last boy on Earth from Jack Kirby stuff? Yeah, it's Kamandi. It was revealed by Amanda Waller of all people. Yes, Amanda Waller revealed that Mr. King was actually Kamandi. And he's new leader of Checkmate. Which is interesting. It's kind of like, okay, he's another Jack Kirby character, but in terms of villain, he named the director of frickin' Checkmate, which is awesome. Yeah, and then at the end of the miniseries, Mark Shaw is killed off. Yeah, they kill off Mark Shaw. And Leviathan is returned back to Talia. So it's back to status quo, obviously. The country is returned back to Makovia. But I love the story in here. It's just so gripping. Alex Malee does a great job with the artwork. Who would have thunk, though, the fact that he would do a great job drawing of all people, like, here's how he draws the characters. Like, wow. Bones looks fantastic on this artwork. And can you believe this is Steve Trevor? Yeah, that is Steve Trevor. Damian looks great under this artwork. You can clearly tell it's Lois, The Question, Green Arrow, and Kate Spencer. It's weird, though. The only character who doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, doesn't do the artwork doesn't do justice is Steve Trevor. Because he's just an ordinary guy who just wrapped up on all this stuff. Oh yeah, and they say, oh yeah, he's helped with the Justice League despite the fact that, well, here's the thing. Green Arrow is leader of the Justice League, obviously. I do like it. They kind of got rid of the whole Leviathan. I'm glad the fact that Bendis followed up with this in this miniseries. It's just really good. Here's a shocker for you. I give it a 10 out of 10. It's just that good. I love the spy stuff in here. I mean, this is basically standard Bendis. And who would have thunk that Bendis write a good miniseries like this? Now, here's the interesting thing. Do you also as good writing spy stories for comics? Two people. Tom King. Yep, and he's writing Human Target right now. And also Ed Brubaker. Yep. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Check it out. As far as I can tell right now, aside from, well, finish up for Justice League and Justice League versus Legion of Heroes, the only thing else left to go for review for Bendis' time at DC is probably Wonder Twins. I think he's working on that one. And, of course, there's also Naomi Season 2 and his Jinx World stuff. Yep. Alright, next up is Justice League, of course. This is Justice League Infinity, written by J.M. DeMatteis. Yes. With artwork by James Tucker. Yeah, he also co-writes this book. Eddie Ethan Beavers does the artwork. And Francis Menopole does the cover art, which is awesome. Now, Infinity is set in the universe of Justice League Unlimited, the TV show. And this is taking place not long after the series. Now, I don't have much time, per se, because here's the weird thing about this miniseries. There's no mention of Lex Luthor. There's a reference to Destroyer, which is the final episode of the original series. And there's many other references throughout this entire book. The whole thing about this book is the multiverse aspect, which I thought was really interesting. Heck, they even threw in a black Superman who's wearing the suit. Like, look at the suit here. That's Val Zod. Even though that's the Val Zod, so even though that's actually Clark Kent. But it's only 7 issues, and it is really good. Who would have thunk, though, that another book with Jan the Mice is really good? And I think the reason why that... Here's the weird thing. It's weird, though, this book was not an ongoing series. It was a limited series. There are some people around my age who have nostalgia goggles for the DC anime universe. And my hope is that this miniseries made a lot of money. I hope it did. Though there is also the one continuation of Batman. There's surprisingly not a continuation for Superman. Which is odd to say at least. They did one for Batman Beyond, but not Superman for some reason. Or even Static Shock. There is actually a comic out there, but it's a continuation. It's a reboot of the Milestone, not the one TV show. Really good miniseries. Give it a 9.5 out of 10. Just that good. Yep. There's also Nazi Superman called Overman, which is so awesome, to say the least. Yep. Yeah, but that's it for Circular Review. And that's going to be pretty much it for videos tonight because I have no more time with videos. So, tomorrow, Sir Ken's reviews along with Overlord. Okay, next video. Bye.